Bethany Beach, a gorgeous backdrop just outside of Frankfort, Delaware. That's where we're at here at Lower Sussex Little League for the 2025 Senior League Softball World Series. Hawaii and Michigan going head-to-head. Hawaii representing the West, Michigan representing the Central here. Our second game on Bruce Layton earlier today. It was a 14-2 victory, Delaware over Connecticut. And this is our second game here on ESPN Plus. We welcome you in. I'm Danny Wexelman. Next to Sydney Supley, two-time Big Ten champ, Women's College World Series participant, pitcher, utility defender, do it all for Northwestern. Game 2 for you in the booth here. I have a feeling this might be a little more stiffer competition in this game.
Especially with two aces on both sides. You could feel the energy. These girls have been here for hours, itching until it was their time to finally take the field.
They were all here earlier today for the opening ceremonies, and they have had to wait. Here's our pools. We have 2 of them, A and B, 5 teams in both. Our league here is made up of 4 teams that are international and 6 teams that are here domestic from the United States. The teams that have the best records, the 8 teams, will advance out of pool play. They'll all play each other. You can see right there, Delaware 1-0. Southeast, by the way, 1-0. They beat Canada over on Lions Field 8-1. So the 10 teams that begin pool play. Everybody plays each other. The 8 teams with the best records advance to single elimination later this week. Our championship game on ESPN Plus, 3 p.m. Eastern on August 3rd. We are excited to have a week here in Frankfort. Hawaii back for their 3rd year in a row. Chad Kyler, the manager of this team. This is the order that they are sporting. Excited to see them work. You can see they've got a few more lefties in the lineup there, primarily right-handed though.
They're a team who's not going to hit the long ball, so they're going to have to generate some pop and power with their speed, look to put the ball in play and put a ton of pressure on this defense.
Kayla Blumenshine is in the circle for Central. We heard a lot about her earlier this week. I'm excited to see her get her first taste of action. 17 years old from Grand Blanc, Michigan.
A warrior on the field. Somebody who has a wicked rise ball and described as the rock of this team. When she goes, so does the rest of them.
Maliola Zudemeister leads things off for the West. She'll also be in the circle when her team goes on defense, and she takes strike 1.
Every single one of these teams has a special story. Hawaii, though, has to be one of my favorite. Haven't been home in Hawaii since July 14th in the journey they've had to get here, winning the Hawaii State Championship and then winning the Western Regional in San Bernardino.
She taps it on the ground back to Blumenshine, who fires it over with a strong throw. This is the defense for Central, again represented by Michigan. This team really impressive throughout the tournament, trying to get here. You mentioned it, these teams being on the road. It starts with the district tournament, then the section tournament, and then the state, province, or county tournament, a region tournament, and then here finally to the Senior League Softball World Series. Paisley Aoki steps in, left side of the box, and swings through strike 1. So that's why they've been on the road. You play all summer to get to this point. Sometimes you can't fly all the way back to Honolulu. By the way, it's 2:20 local in Honolulu, Hawaii right now. We say good afternoon to you watching from home.
Being able to travel that much with your team, the undeniable chemistry that it brings you, I think that's something that both of these teams can relate to. Even Central coming all the way from Michigan, that these last few weeks, they feel like they've become a family within the team.
A pitch is outside. It's 2-1. Our umpires, by the way, in this game, all volunteers behind home plate. John Chesbrew, 20 years volunteering out of Virginia. A pitch is upstairs. It's 3-1. Christine Larson, first season volunteering over at first base. Ty Cavella at second, 16 seasons out of Pennsylvania. And George Spragan, 16, excuse me. Really impressive. Our umpires all volunteering their time to come here. Swing and a miss. The count goes full. So this Hawaiian team, they're Their motto is "Aloha is everywhere." That's something that Chad Pyler has been preaching since we saw him here in 2022. It's a younger team compared to their past teams he shared, but a no panic attitude.
And that's the joy of being younger. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and that's something he's really enjoyed about this group. Their playful side being so young. He said they never give up. They could be down how many runs, and it's just this no-quit fight mentality. Nobody better to lead them than Coach Pyler's third time being back here, somebody who understands this tournament and has had success.
Painted for a strike, the first for Blumenshine, and there's 2 away.
And as a pitcher, you have to work the corners early on in the game. Understand what is the umpire going to give you behind the dish. This is a great job. See her go to her screwball, but also the work behind the dish to get that pitch for your pitcher.
Aaliyah Anzai will come up. She'll be playing shortstop on defense. And she takes strike 1.
Anzai, somebody who can play all 9 positions on the field, and not only do it, but do it very well.
Blumenshine's been working ahead, something we've talked about in the first game, as Anzai taps it foul.
What I love about this Hawaii team, too, that's so much younger, is they're using this as an experience to play on the biggest stage on ESPN, be recruited. They said that's every single one of their goals, and why they decided to play Little League is they want to be seen here in the States.
Blumenshine ahead, 0-2. She hits it. That one's going to get through the infield for a 2-out base hit for Aaliyah Anzai. She extends the top of the first for Kayla Sato.
I mean, talk about this at bat. This is an 0-2 pitch off the plate, able to get on top of a pitch that's elevated and so far outside. The fact that she hit this and put it up the middle speaks to what an athlete she is.
Sato, 15 years old. She takes a ball outside. She goes to Mauna Lua High School. Tiari Jennings, one of her favorite athletes. Morgan Wallen, one of her favorite artists. She hikes and wants to be a nurse when she grows up. Fly ball, center field, going back off the glove. And that's going to score Anzai with her speed home. A 2-out RBI for Kayla Sato, and it's 1-0 Hawaii.
Because of how this ball is hit off the bat, it has some wicked spin coming in, an inside-out swing that she gets just enough to send this ball sky high to center field. Watch it drift left. That tail is going to cause an extra base hit.
Yeah, and with her speed, she ends up on third base. Casey Kimura will bat. Sophia Chaput almost had that in center field. Happy birthday, by the way, to Casey. Pretty cool to have your birthday here at the Senior League Softball World Series.
I was always somebody who played on my birthday every single year. It was opening weekend of college softball, and I can tell you there is nothing better than playing the game you love on your special day, but winning on your birthday. That takes the cake.
I like what you did there. We didn't get her anything.
We have time. We have a few innings.
Yeah, we should get her something.
Let's, send this one out. Any crew listening? We got a great ice cream truck. Danny and I had some between this doubleheader.
We have brownies. I'm sure she's had a ton of treats today. I have no doubt. She probably wants to win. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
And that's something that I felt like going up and down the lineup. You're reading these player surveys from Hawaii. You said, what are you most looking forward to? I felt like every single one of them said winning here.
Yeah.
That type of confidence coming into this tournament.
They're competitive. They're winners. Pitch is outside to even the count up. Again, we've got 4 teams who will represent the international side of this tournament, 6 domestic, 10 teams total. 2 pools, 5 teams each. everyone's going to play each other, and the 8 teams with the best records will advance. As Kimura just misses that one.
That's what's so special about Little League. You know, Danny, you and I played travel ball, and you were playing the best teams in the country, but I don't know any other place where you're playing the best teams in the world, and to have that type of international experience at the youth level.
Yeah, it's all really special, and the best part is they're playing with their best friends all summer. You said that earlier. That's the best part, being on the road with them. Sleepovers. It's just a bunch of sleepovers all summer. That pitch just missing. Good at bat here. Good battle between Kimura and Blumenshine.
After the 2 batters in, how much Hawaii has been able to shrink this zone, have really late discipline takes.
Off the end of the bat and foul. 22 pitches so far for Blumenshine.
We haven't seen a ton of this inning. I would love to see Blumenshine, especially really long at bat, go to her off speed. She's working her fast stuff right now between 62 to 64 miles per hour.
She waits on it and pops it up to right field. Central's got Ayanna Jackson there, but how about the triple for Kayla Sato? West leading 1-0. It's early in this one, but we have a feeling this is going to be back and forth all game long. All right, we welcome you back in the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 West over Central. That's Zach Orr, the manager of this Central Michigan team. Here's what's awesome is his dad is Tom Orr. Tom Orr managed the back-to-back champions from Illinois who represented Central the last 2 years, and Zach's team knocked them out. They beat them twice in regionals to advance here to the Senior League Softball World Series, and all because, Sydney, back in 2024, they lost. Zach lost to his dad's team 11-1. That burned. He told us they came out with a vengeance, a chip on their shoulder, beat him twice to advance here. So now dad's got to watch from home, but probably really proud seeing his son represent Central here in Frankfurt.
Being able to pass the torch, what a legacy. And Coach Orr, he really gave credit to his father, Tom. He said he laid down this Little League program and being able to recruit players all over Illinois to create championship teams. It was his structure that Zach has followed to prove to everybody the quality of play at Michigan is amongst some of the best. He did laugh and say that after he beats his dad, Tom Orr, he said, I need 2 days. He was radio silence, and then on Monday, I'll start helping you prep for the World Series.
It is so awesome. I mean, the legacies that we talk about here in softball, right? Obviously, these young women have older sisters who have won here, but also the managers and the coaches and the staff members and the volunteers who have these bloodlines that have come through. And Tom Orr is a gem. I am sure Tom Orr is watching at home, beaming with pride for his son. Hopefully it doesn't sting as much anymore, Tom, but happy to have Zach Orr here with his Michigan District 4L out of Grand Blanc, Michigan, representing. In the circle for the West, this is Maliola Zudemeister. She gets the start tonight out of Hawaii, 17 years old.
This staff is built on gamers, but Zudemeister probably the biggest gamer of herself, somebody who's going to use her movement and her spin really as her advantage.
Sophia Chappett is the batter. She's behind 1-2 in the count. Fouls off another pitch.
Chappett, alongside many of these other players, committed to play on in college. She will compete at Oakland University in just a few years. And in the regional to qualify here, she was 11 for 13 as her leadoff hitter.
In the dirt, right in front of the catcher. That's Kaimana Sue.
You can see Sue right now already being very active with her glove, emphasizing exactly where she wants the pitch location. Sometimes just those visual cues can be so helpful for the pitchers.
She lands the spot, gets the strikeout, freezes Chappett for the first out.
It goes with the saying, ask for what you want. Sue telling Zudemeister to deliver it up and in. and this is a gem of a pitch.
Yeah, you saw her call for it, right? A little glove clap there, right to the spot she asked for. All right, one away. Ayanna Jackson will bat. Ajax from Goodrich, Michigan. Inside for strike one. Ayanna shared that she's a fan of Harper Marie Jada Coleman. She said, "Did you watch her play in 4 College World Series? Why wouldn't you want to meet her?" Yeah, I agree. You agree. We all agree.
I think she's trending towards some Jada Coleman type hitting as well.
She smokes it down the line. It's a 1-out base hit for Jackson. I don't have exit velo, but if I did, that one would be in the upper echelon.
Ooh, gotta be 70, 80 off the bat. Picking up right where she left off. She batted .650 in 7 games with 20 RBIs. Yes, you heard that right. 20 RBIs in the regional alone.
Number 9, Kayla Blumenshine. But during the tournament and during the regionals, number 99. A little Aaron Judge action, if you will. I like it. She's got that CMU logo on her helmet, committed to Central Michigan University. A lot of these young women on this team are committed to play at the next level, which is really exciting and something that I think a lot of these young women here want to do, right? It is a dream of a lot of them, if not all of them, to go play at the next level.
Well, you don't get to these type of tournaments and games without sacrifices and commitments every single one of them has made. One of the players that she looks up to, Alicia Ocasio, one of the best two-way players coming out of Florida, now competing in the Athletes Unlimited as a pro player. She's a national champion.
Zudemeister behind. It's a 2-0 count, and that one comes in. It's a 3-0 count. I think what's cool, too, is Major League Baseball signing on with the AUSL, right? Supporting them, putting their games on MLB Network, MLB.com, streaming those games, getting more people to see what's happening and investing in that league was probably the biggest thing to happen to them. Kim Eng, the commissioner of that league, she knows what she's doing. There's a walk for Blumenshine to put 2 aboard for Central.
The former GM of the Marlins.
That's right, yeah.
And just how she came back to her roots of softball, somebody who played college ball. And you're right, they just had the first ever professional softball championship series for Athletes Unlimited where they sold out road stadiums in Alabama time after time again. So many of these athletes now believe that they can go on and play pro softball and make a career and living out of it.
So we got Zach Orr out of the dugout right now with our home plate umpire. Again, our crew, by the way, on this field, I added it up, 71 years combined volunteering for Little League. 29 for our third base umpire, 16 for our second base, 6 for our first base and our home plate umpire. 20 years volunteering. We're going to have a pinch runner for Blumenshine, obviously.
Elizabeth Lawrence will take over for Blumenshine. Never a bad decision, especially protecting your pitcher on the bases. This is a very long tournament. You want to keep every single one of these athletes healthy.
All right, so Lawrence over at first base. She's from Fenton, Michigan, 17 years old, goes to Lake Fenton High School. A pitch is outside to Lila Turmel.
Turmel, another one who's going to play on soon, playing Division I at Toledo University. She had a homer in the regional championship game. The game she also went 3 for 3. You could see them trying to neutralize her power with the off speed.
Finally throws a strike after 5 straight balls. 2 runners aboard, 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Defense all playing very back, tight up the middle.
She waits on it, drives it just foul. Turmel from White Lake, Michigan, committed to Toledo University. She goes to Walled Lake Northern High School. She looks up to her sister, Kayla. She likes Montana Fouts. She wants to be a certified registered nurse anesthetist. I had to look that up. She abbreviated it to CRNA, and I was like, you know what? Let me find out what this is, which is really cool. Another drive, but foul.
One of my favorite things in the bio as well, we said, what's something that you should know? We should know about you. She said, I fear nothing. I was like, I love that.
Amazing.
That's who I want on my team in the batter's box.
100%.
And she's keeping Zach Gore on his toes over there.
Heads up, coach. Heads up, coach. She kind of can do it all, too. A Jill of all trades. She can pitch. She's got power. She threw a no-hitter at regionals against Kentucky. Zudemeister gets her to swing and miss, though. So 2 strikeouts now in the frame, 2 away.
It's her spots that we're going to make her so far been pinpoint accurate, understanding when to get the ball to break.
That was a nice pitch.
Oh, a drop ball that just fell off the table. And that's one thing that Coach Pyler emphasized. He said, I don't build flamethrowers. I build pitchers who are going to win battles based off their break.
Allie Turkowski hits it on the ground to third, and just stepping on the bag there for West is Casey Kimura. And so West gets out of it. They leave 2 stranded, and they keep their 1-0 lead as we go to the second. Top 2, it's 1-0 Hawaii over Michigan. Hey, do you want your child to experience the teamwork and fun of Little League baseball or softball? Visit playlittleLeague.org and enter your address to find a Little League community program near you. Welcome back in to Lower Sussex Little League Complex here in what did I just say? What word did I just say? Complex? Complex here in Lower Sussex in Delaware, Frankfort, Delaware. I just got so excited because your walk-up song was on.
We did. We
Girl
manifested
on Fire,
it.
and it completely got me off my game here.
I'm ready to go. You saw me grab a bat. I was saying, put me in, coach.
I know. Let me get ready here. Bloom and Shine back in the circle for Central. Kaya Okimoto is the batter.
So far, I feel like the pitch that Blumenshine is having her most success is that curveball. She's able to run away from these righties.
She pops that one up and out of play. It's 1-2. Okimoto from Honolulu. She likes tacos. She's on a surf team, which is very impressive. She can juggle, and she is the team braider. She braids the team's hair. We noticed that earlier during the national anthem. Another one foul.
And she's somebody who says she's been surfing since she was a baby. This is actually my second nationals coming to the States, as she came earlier to California with her surf team competing in the nationals there.
So impressive. One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, the second for Bloom and Shine, 1 away.
Blumenshine doing a much better job, I feel like, this inning already, mixing up her pitches between different speeds and parts of the plate.
Chaselyn Mokiao is the batter. She takes a pitch high.
Moki Owl, somebody who they warn when she starts to get hot in the batter's box, she is impossible to cool down. Really feeds off of momentum and confidence.
That one hits her, so she's going to take the bag and head to first. It's tough when you have that momentum. You get the first out with a strikeout, and then you hit the next batter.
It's a pitch that just slipped a little bit away, her screwball. But that's when the best pitchers, they're the ones who have the short-term memory. They're able to dump it and then go attack the next pitch. So the only pitch that matters is the next one that you throw.
Here's Kaimana Sue. Takes a leadership role on this team. Mike Trout, Jocelyn Allo, the Angels, some of her favorites Her favorite class is computer science.
What Jocelyn Allo has done to represent all of Hawaii. Continuing to come back, host camps, grow the game. One of the best hitters and players our sport has ever seen.
Ambassador, that's the word that I think of when it comes to Jocelyn Allo. A great ambassador of the game and the sport. That's a great pitch from Bloom and Shine for strike one.
And it only takes one person from your community, from your hometown, to be that Jocelyn Allo who you see playing on the biggest stage to say, I can do it now too.
2 balls and 1 strike the count. That one at the knees for strike 2 and evens it up.
And Stevenson does a really nice job going low to high within her catching frame, being able to pick up that off speed as soon as it was breaking down.
Swing and a miss. There's another strikeout for Bloom and Shine. 3 so far, and the second out of the frame.
This has to be my favorite back-to-back sequence. The off speed to then climbing the ladder. Look at this break on the rise ball.
Give West credit. They've made her work, right? They haven't allowed her to get ahead, but she's come back. She's finished the job. Anuheo Wong Barboza is the batter.
And that's where she was getting beat in the first inning, was those third, fourth pitches in the at-bat. They were able to find a way to barrel up this time, really emphasizing finishing about her.
Wong Barboza's been here the last 3 years. She's the team leader. I can't even imagine how cool that must be for her. Chad Pyler said that, she lets the girls know what to do, what to expect. And I think that matters when you haven't been here, right? Or maybe you haven't flown this far. You're completely across the United States, remember? Right? It's just about to be 3 p.m. local time in Honolulu. And she's that person for them. And she swings through that pitch.
And that's the person you're getting advice from on and off the field. How do you prepare for a moment like this? Her favorite part, she says, of Little League is meeting people from all over the world. These teams all stay together in the same hotel.
Here's strike 2. It's a 2-2 count. And the coolest part is that throughout the week, you will see them come together at this park. And they'll be hanging out together, and they don't all speak the same languages, obviously, right? And it doesn't matter. You don't have to speak the same language to play the sport to understand each other. As that pitch is fouled away and out of play. I think it is so cool. It warms my heart because, again, they come from so many different regions and places and backgrounds and languages, and the thing that bonds them is the sport.
And that's the beauty of sports.
It's really cool.
In a world where everything can feel like you're so different from the person next to you, it's the one true thing that's left in our world that's able to, no matter what, bring people together. And even in the language barrier, I was listening to some of them talk, and some of the words that are universal are fastball, drop ball.
Yes. Also, by the way, Wong Barboza, no batting gloves. Big fan of that. No batting gloves for her.
Rub some dirt on it, a true baller in the box.
Yeah, and she takes that pitch low, so it's a 2-out walk to put 2 aboard for West, and it's back to the top with Zudemeister.
And it was 2 outs late in the bottom of the first inning where you just felt Hawaii be able to gain that edge and momentum. It's a sign of a good team when you can be really gritty and tough with 2 outs.
And I think something that's important, it's going to be a theme all week, is getting ahead, right? That benefits you and your team so much. Zudemeister grounded out her first at bat. 2 on, 2 down for her in the top of the second. That pitch just missing inside for a ball.
We talk about how much the sport of softball is growing at every level. It allows people like Zudemeister, who list her dream job is to own a softball team someday. How
Super
about
cool.
that?
I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. Fouls that one back. It's 1-1.
I love when you have the opportunity to get back up as a leadoff hitter, top of the lineup again. How can you learn from your first at-bat? Start to make adjustments, and as a pitcher on the other side, have that counter response.
1-1. Tap to the right side, and it's off the glove of Turkowski. And the runner's coming home. Slide! And she's in there. How about the hustle for West? So an RBI for Zudemeister to give Hawaii a 2-0 lead with 2 outs.
Continuing to have some gritty 2-out magic. Coming all the way from second base. Gain speed coming around after a little pause. Able to turn back on the Jets. And that's also, as a hitter, you can't just put your head down if you feel like you rolled over a ground ball. Every ball is a chance.
Wong Barboza ended up on third. Zach Orr's out of the dugout right now, talking with the third base umpire.
I'm sure having a little bit of conversation of just the contact that was made for Turmel at first base once the runner came through.
That's George Spragan.
This is also a good time. You see Central Michigan coming together on the field by the pitcher's circle while this conversation is going on, allowing them to kind of have a pause together, get their heads back in this. This is still very early on in the game. Being able to reset, making a really important third out to get back to hitting.
Central went 4-0 in their regional to get here. They are a powerhouse. They knocked off the defending champs. So this is not a deficit to them. They've got to score to win.
They outscored their opponents in the regional 59 runs to 0.
It looks fake, doesn't it? It can't be real, and yet it is.
I think I wrote it down and I looked at you. Did you have this as well?
Yeah, I did. Paisley Aoki is the batter. She struck out in the first. She's got runners on the corners. She pops it up, foul territory, right side. Lila Turmel makes the catch. So West gets one more. They're up 2-0. We head to the bottom of the second here at Bruce Layton. Bottom 2, West is up 2-0 over Central. West represented by Hawaii. Central represented by Michigan. Michigan knocking off the back-to-back defending champs from Illinois. Zach Orr's dad's team, Tom Orr. Back in the circle is Zudemeister. Did a nice job of getting out of some trouble in the first inning. Ella Stevenson is leading off for Central. And she takes a strike on the outside part of the plate.
Stevenson, somebody that the team describes her small but mighty.
She takes that pitch for a ball. It's 1-1. Stevenson, 16 years old, from Grand Blanc, Michigan. She hits that one to right field and right to Wong Barboza for the out. So there's one away. So Zudemeister back in the circle. She's done a nice job in the game so far, but you've noticed something about her.
One thing I love about Zudemeister's form is watch that rock back, how much she's engaging her left glute. From powering from her heel to be able to gain even more momentum going forward. That's something that you see very common from these international teams. A lot of Japan pitchers do it, something the U.S. is trying to learn more. We see New Zealand pitchers who come over for colleges like Washington. Gabby playing a perfect example, who really utilizes the rock back, as the rule has changed for softball, where you now can step off the back of the mound and don't have to keep your feet together.
That's a great observation. She's facing Reese Dunny from Brighton. Woo! Who hits it foul.
And even with the rock back, how sometimes that can change the timing for these hitters who aren't used to it. You have to stay a little bit more patient in your legs and not get too anxious and get out in front of yourself.
Yeah, it definitely benefits Zudemeister in the circle, right? She has the control and the timing mechanism there as that pitch bounces in for ball 2. Reese Dunny, though, on the other side in the box, described as hitting the ball like she's crushing rocks, which we just saw with that foul ball, by the way. So, like, I like this matchup here, right?
Power on power in some sort of ways. And Dunny, one of the students of the game, I think Coach Orr's favorite thing is that she sits right next to him so often in the dugout, wants to understand why players are playing at certain parts of the infield. Just a student of the game and how that's allowed her to grow within herself of understanding defensive shifts.
Three balls and one strike, the count. Outside to Dunny. She works the walk. Addie Taylor will come up to bat from Clio, Michigan. Taylor in 10th grade at Clio High School. She runs a coffee shop at her high school, by the way. I would love to get a coffee from her. Not tonight, because I'll never go to bed, but maybe do you think she's making some this week for her teammates? I wonder.
It has to be the team's superpower. It's cool. Somebody who comes from a family of athletes. Her cousin is a current soccer player at Notre Dame.
Taylor takes strike one. It's inside.
Taylor, also one of the pitchers on this staff, steps into the box with a lot of expertise, understanding the combinations pitchers like to use.
She taps it on the ground to third, ranging over and making the play is Kimura, and that was a great grab at first from Mokiao. Good defense there from West. There's two away.
If that ball gets all the way to the shortstop, I think there's a possibility of Taylor beating it out. And it takes a third baseman who's willing to go across the diamond and show off her range.
All right, so a runner in scoring position for Central. Hannah Johnson will bat. Johnson from Clio, Michigan, goes to Grand Blanc High School. She's in 10th grade. And she takes ball one.
Somebody who's an incredibly mature player beyond her years. What a spark this would be for her team to be able to throw a punch back and a response.
Leaves it out. It's 2-0. She also plays board games with her grandma, she shared, which I think is awesome. Grandparents are so special. How about that change up there in?
It almost felt like a knee buckler. You could hear the whole stadium go silent.
Waiting for it. I thought that looked good. That one just missed.
I mean, that's coming across the batter at her chest and just falling into the catcher's hands.
It's a 3-0 count now. See what she does, and she takes ball four. So she works a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs, and now Central's cooking. They've got 2 on. 3 walks now issued by Zudemeister.
Zudemeister is just nibbling a little bit too much with the zone. I love how much she's able to spot the ball, spin her pitches, but until Central, this Michigan team could really prove that they're barreling up your best pitches going through the zone, you have to trust it more. Allow it to be a little bit of white and trust your movement.
Back to the top, Sophia Chapit. That one's going to get away, and the runners will advance. Sue's been so good defensively behind the plate, but this gives Central an advantage now. They both advance 60 feet into scoring position.
Chapit, somebody, if she can just put the ball in play, they say she runs like a jet.
Up and in for a ball. It's 2-0. Chapit struck out her first at bat.
Moonzai having a few extra words from shortstop to Zudemeister, trying to calm her down. Love that type of communication. Reminding your pitcher you have her back.
She fires that in for a strike. Let your defense work for you, right? We've worked for you all season. Trust us here. Again, this is their first game here at the Senior League Softball World Series. There's some butterflies. There's some excitement, maybe a little bit of nerves, all coming out right now. But we've seen these young ladies settle in as the game moves on too. Big moment for Central. 2-on-2 down in the bottom of the second. It's a 2-1 count to Chapin. She squares, but the bunt is foul. Do you like that? 2 outs, your leadoff hitter laying down a bunt?
I think with the speed and the situation of who you have up at the box, Coach Orr, I'm not surprised he went by it. Somebody who said he loves small ball coming into this tournament and was trying to catch the defense, who is very back with 2 outs, by surprise. I mean, they are behind the bag all the way around.
That one hits her. So she's going to head over to first. That loads them up with 2 outs. So big moment here. Central trying to capitalize, trailing by 2 early. Ayanna Jackson will bat. Ajax, one of the best bats in this lineup.
I think this is exactly who you want up to bat if you're Michigan. She is somebody who walked off Illinois for the Mercy Run Rule by hitting a grand slam.
No stranger to the spotlight. And she takes strike 1.
And that's a quality take right there. A low and in pitch is something you really have to be on time if you're going to deliver your barrel to do any type of damage. That's a pitcher's pitch.
One's foul tipped. Oh, it's 0-2.
Zudemeister forcing her with a drop ball inside, trying to create any type of rollover situation. You have the right side of the defense whose heels are on the grass right now, looking to defend this.
It's hard not to swing for the fences here, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm wondering if we see that knuckler of a changeup again.
Here comes the 0-2. At the knees, but it's called a ball. It's 1-2. Central's 0 for 2 so far with runners in scoring position.
You can hear their dugout trying to create any type of momentum spark. At the front of the plate.
Swing and a miss. How about that? They touch home for the out. It's a drop third strike. They could have gone anywhere with that. They could have thrown to first, stepped on home, whatever it is. But how about that? Zudemeister and her defense get out of this jam.
Big pitcher step up in big moments. Keep them off the boards and the momentum back in Hawaii's hands.
All right, welcome back. We love our split screen. We share Lower Sussex. There's 2 fields. We're on Bruce Layton, top left. And then bottom right, Puerto Rico, Louisiana. They're over on Lions. 2-on-2 down in the top of the first. Matt Janis and Beverly Smith on the call over on ESPN+. You can watch that game there. That's game 2 on that field today. We got 4 total in our opening day. Earlier, Southeast beat Canada 8-1. So they're 1-0 in pool play. Delaware beat Connecticut 14-2 on our field here on Bruce Layton. So they're both 1-0 in pool play. Important to start that way, right? We've got 2 pools, A and B, 10 teams, so 5 in each, of course. And the 8 teams with the best record advance to single elimination out of pool play. They're all going to play each other, and so it's so critical to get that first win.
Even the tight games we're seeing right now here in the nightcap, it goes to show we are really watching the best of the best in the world battle it against each other.
Aaliyah Ansai is the leadoff hitter for West. She singled and scored in the first.
Has always been the youngest player on every team despite this year. This year she is the vet leading the way, taking that walk, creating any spark she can for her team.
Yeah, and she's going to be aboard now to bring up the cleanup hitter, Kayla Sato, who tripled. She made it that 1-0 ball game early.
Hits for average, hits for power.
She takes a ball upstairs. It's 1-0.
for this Hawaii team, they just feel like they never go away quietly. Working long counts, always drawing somebody on. Michigan hasn't had a clean inning, always been somebody on base.
I think what Hawaii does, team after team, and is part of their culture, is that they are relentless. They are that little gnat that you can't quite get rid of. They just keep coming back, right? She rips that line drive, drops right in front of the left fielder. Did she make the catch? Did they call that a catch? No catch. So both runners safe. Great effort in left field, though, by Reese Dunny.
As Dunny lays out, it looks like it popped in and out of her glove. I just wish she could have thrown it to second base immediately, because we had a runner hold up as they were trying to figure out as well on the field if it was a catch.
Anzai didn't know, so she was caught between first and second. But now you've got runners on first and second for West. Casey Kimura will bat. Kimura flew out to right her first at bat.
What an opportunity here. Again, on your birthday. There's nothing like some birthday bombs or RBIs.
Or bunts. How about birthday bunts? Squares around and pulls it back. Kimura plays violin. She's in the orchestra at Iolani School. She wants to be a dermatologist when she grows up, and she's taking Japanese. She hits it hard, finds the hole on the right side, and they're going to hold up Anzai at third. Chad Pyler holding his runner to load him up. No outs in the top of the third. Now, there's a called out, it looks like, over at first base.
And this was a really tight play by Soto. When she was running first to second, the ball was hit just behind her. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a discussion. Did the ball hit the runner when she was going from first to second?
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
And to me, it looks clear as day as she hopped over the ball. I actually thought it was some terrific base running, watching it all happen. And real speed, and it's going to look like they're going to call her out, but the entire umpiring crew is going to get together.
So here's how our replay works, by the way. We've got video replay. It was used for the first time here in 2022, which is really cool. So managers have unlimited successful challenges, but they lose the ability to challenge once they have 2 unsuccessful challenges in the first 6 innings. They also get 1 in extra innings. You can see that on your screen. So you can have as many as you want as long as you're successful. Unlimited successful challenges. So now our runner over at third base is gone. And we're going to figure out what's going on for you and double check this.
With the outstanding, it's cleared a dead ball, so all the runners would have to return back to their bag.
Zach Orr is coming out. He's going to call a little team meeting here, but still unsure why there's an out at third.
And to me, that's just a tough play that you didn't use your challenge on, especially in a tough, tight ball game like this.
Okay, so they sent the lead runner back to second. And Kayla Sato is out. So Sato, who was on first, is out.
And now if you're Hawaii, what you have to do is just be able to wipe the slate. An opportunity again for them with runners in scoring position. Akimoto, how can you be bigger than what just unraveled and step up for your team?
So Anzai back on second. Casey Kimura at first. Chad Pyler still talking to George Spragan, the third base umpire, trying to understand. I think we are as well. Maybe he's asking for his review at this time.
But you have to do it before the next pitch is made, which, as you can see, as soon as he stepped in the box, he's going to use this as an opportunity before the chance gets away from him.
So this is a good call by Chad Pyler, at least from our perspective. But we'll see what video replay decides and what the umpires decide after they watch this.
We talked about coming into this game that we knew it was going to be a tough matchup, or a tight matchup. Already a 2-0 ball game. Every single out matters, and this is a huge opportunity. The difference in outs and with runners in scoring position or with bases loaded.
All right, so here's what happened, right? We know that Kimura hit the ball, there you go, on the ground. And hopping over is Kayla Sato. So she's on second. Kimura goes to first. Here's from center field. So again, Sato. I think it's clean. I think we all agree that it's clean.
The ball is never redirected by a cleat or hitting any part of her body.
And that's what Chad Pyler saw. And so the call was that Sato was out, and so then the lead runner, which is Aliyah Anzai, she went back to second. That's how we got here. Casey Kimura is the runner at first. If it is successful, Chad Pyler will retain his reviews, his challenges, so to speak. You can have unlimited successful challenges here.
Again, our entire crew is behind the plate, at first base, at third, all volunteers who are working tirelessly to make sure they get every call on the field right, but also that they're creating these environments for these players to have these memories, to play these competitive games.
And here's our crew. Let's see what they say. Chad Pyler is smiling. And the call is going to stand. So Chad Pyler will lose a challenge. He has one left. And so it will stay with Kimura at first and Anzai at second and one away in the top of the third. You can see the jaws dropped there. I think we might have agreed with that. But we move along here now. 2 on, 1 down in the top of the third.
Well, the reason being simply because they couldn't connect on the review and they couldn't see the play progress again to be able to overturn it. But that's when the great ones can step up. They can shake it off and go back. That one play isn't going to make the difference in a game. You can't allow it to.
The ball on the ground, fleet of foot. So Anzai over at third base, and I misspoke. So there was literally a connection issue with Pittsburgh, and so they weren't able to actually look at the play. So Chad Pyler should still have his 2 challenges, at least 2 anyway, as we get all this sorted out for you. Kaya Akimoto is the batter. You've got runners on the corners for her. She struck out in the second. And takes the ball high. It's 2-2. So a lot going on. If you're Central, you want to get these outs. You want to get back to the dugout, right? Your team wants to try to get something in motion. West is just continuing to extend their innings and take up time here.
Akimoto continuing to choke up on the bat.
So there's a strikeout. You can see Kimura taking second. So heads up base running by her, but now there's 2 away. That's the 4th strikeout for Blumenshine.
Blumenshine doing exactly what you just said. You can feel her step up in this moment, try to get out of this inning. shake off all the yucky feeling that goes on with the review and having to sit and wait and allow this to be the turning point for your team.
Getting ahead, right? There she is, 0-1 now to Chaselyn Mokiao. Mokiao in 11th grade at Puna House School. Just inside, just missing her. She thinks it might have hit her. She was already hit by a pitch and scored in the second. She crowds the plate, right? Makes that pitcher come in.
With no evil shields. That's what I love as well.
I feel like Chad Pyler's a little old school, and that rubs off on his teams. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think he's hit the nail on the head. Loves to play fundamental softball, do the little things.
2 on, 2 down in the top of the third. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Mokiao shared that her dad inspires her because he's a hard worker, does a lot for their family, and he works long hours. Her dad, Brandon, who is a deputy sheriff. Swing and a miss. Bloom and shine. Shining big time in the circle. Strands those runners and sends her team back to the dugout. They trail by 2. Welcome back. So Bloom and shine in the circle. Back-to-back strikeouts to get out of that jam. 2 runners stranded. And now she gets to lead off. She gets to have a chance to start things off for her team. But it feels like she was taking command in the circle. And now you hope that carries over to the box.
That fire and that attitude translate perfectly from one to the other. If anything, feeds you with a little bit of confidence. Step up to the box with some swagger.
She walked her first at bat. Central wasn't able to capitalize. That one hits her. They're going to bring her back because she didn't attempt to get out of the way.
However, it will still be ruled a ball against her.
Great point. What do you think?
It felt like she locked her legs a little bit. In my eyes, that's an attempt to try to scooch out a little back, but also you don't have to move out of the way if you're in the batter's box necessarily. That box is yours to be able to stay frozen. You just can't lean into it.
All right, so it's a 2-0 count now. She smacks that into right center field all the way back to the fence and is going to stand up with a leadoff double. She didn't need the hit by pitch, right? Taking care of business into scoring position.
If anything, took it personal, responded, showing off her dance moves. What can't Bloom and Shine do right now? From the mound and at the plate, delivers her barrel, goes down to get this. That's a pitch that's delivered over the middle as a present, and she takes full advantage.
The first extra base hit. The pitcher taking care of business. And this is someone who on and off the field is a leader for her team. She spends time helping 8 to 12-year-old Little League pitchers develop when she has free time. I don't know when she does, but described as the rock of their team, steadfast, reliable, always there when the team needs her most. I mean, talk about true leadership.
They say she's just a gem of a human. She actually stopped the regional game for a few minutes because a butterfly landed on her glove, and she wanted to make sure she could put the butterfly back safely behind the fences where it could be protected.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for her.
All right, we have a pinch runner, first pinch runner, number 13, Avery Hile, running 4.
So you can bring in a pinch runner twice in a game, not more than one time in an inning. And you can bring in a player who is not in the batting order as a special pinch runner for any offensive player. Avery Heil is going to go run for her over at second. Lila Turmel is the batter. And she takes a ball high.
so far, Michigan is not able to capitalize with multiple opportunities with runners in scoring position. They're 0 for 3 on it right now. How can you learn from those experiences? Keep the bat loose in your hand.
Stay loose, right? Trust yourself. Trust how your team got here is probably part of it. And, you know, we'll go back to saying it again. Like, this is the World Series. There's going to be some nerves. You maybe lose sight a little bit and swing out of your shoes to start. And then you shake it off and realize it's the same game.
Sometimes it's as much as just visualizing, pretending there's not a runner on base, focusing on just having a quality at bat yourself to take away that pressure.
So Heil there, the pinch runner over at second base. She said, I love to be on a team with girls that I compete against during the school year too. We've become close. And she said she wants to be a sports broadcaster. Maybe we'll have to get her up here in the booth.
She's taken after a legendary woman in her family. Great grandma played basketball during wartime.
Termel pops it up into center field. Sato is there to make the out, and there's one away.
That's a good piece of hitting. That's something, if you were Michigan, that shouldn't quiet you down in the dugout. You should be giving high fives all around. That's a well-barreled ball. You keep putting the barrel on the ball like that, eventually they're going to fall.
Here's Allie Turkowski from Fenton, Michigan, committed to Wayne State University. She's dependable, reliable. She swears around and drops the bunt, just foul down the third base line. Science is her favorite class. Crab legs is her favorite food. She wants to be a physical therapist or a chiropractor. And my favorite part about Allie Turkowski is that she does a Jennifer Coolidge impression, which I am dying to see.
Do you want to know what my favorite part is?
Yes.
She draws a D in the dirt for her dad before every at-bat. So would not be here without him.
50 pitches for Zudemeister as that one sails inside. It's 1-1. I like to learn about their superstitions, their charms, anything that they do that's special for them. I think that's really cool. And honestly, it's an honor that they share that with us. We appreciate it so much. They don't have to. It's a 1-1 count. And that one's a strike. It's 1-2. Zudemeister ahead.
That's a strike based off the fact of how much Sue gets around those pitches on the outside corner.
Got some action heading down to the bullpen for Central.
After she had the big hit into the outfield, Termel will now start warming up. You can see the bullpen is in the field as well. So you have to bring out a buddy with the helmet on just to make sure she stays protected and can protect her pitcher behind her.
I was always that buddy.
Yeah. I loved those buddies as my pitchers, so
bet.
thank you for your work.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun and special. That pitch misses. It's 2-2, so good at bat now from Turkowski. She grounded out to third her last at bat. Ella Stevenson is on deck. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Just the fourth, excuse me. And Heil leaking off the bag a little bit. She scurries back. So 4 strikeouts now for Zudemeister and 2 away. That's a huge pitch.
Going to her curveball, the way that has such late sharp break. You can see she's laughing it off. No harm, no foul.
Central 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position as Stevenson steps up. She flew out to right her first at bat and takes a pitch high.
And we've been talking about the adjustments they could make in the batter's box, but I think one thing we have to give credit is Zudemeister has stepped up and delivered better pitches when the moment gets more intense.
Stevenson pops it up just behind second, and bringing it in is Anzai, the shortstop. And so Central really struggling now with those runners in scoring position to push anything through. But West still leads 2-0. 2-0 West over Central. How'd they get there? Well, in the first, it was an RBI triple off Kayla Sato's bat to score Aaliyah Anzai. And then in the second, Chaselyn Mokiao was hit by a pitch, got on base, and Maliola Zudemeister drove her in to make it 2-0 West. They've been hanging on. It was a 13-pitch inning for Zudemeister, by the way, to get out of the jam in the third inning. There's a new pitcher in the circle for Central. Now we saw Lila Turmel warming up. She is going to take over for Blumenshine.
Bringing in the flamethrower at the perfect time, now going through the lineup of Hawaii for the third time. She's somebody who's going to come in throwing about 4 to 5 miles per hour than what they just saw.
Leading on 4, West to the top of the 4th inning.
That one hits the leadoff batter. That's Kaimana Stew. She's going to take a moment. That did not feel good. And toss the bat, fire her team up.
That's a tough player. As soon as coach comes over by you, you say, never mind, I'm good. You see getting a lot of love over there by Coach Daniel Kimura. And we mentioned what a flamethrower. That Turmel is on the mound. I don't know why they call it softball. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there is nothing soft about that ball.
Nothing soft about it, no. Anuhea Wong Barboza will bat, the leader of this team, the veteran, 3-time Senior League Softball World Series participant. And she takes the ball.
Committed to play softball at Saginaw Valley State University. So many of these Michigan players gotta play on and play at the highest level.
Here's a 1-0. That's tapped to foul. So a couple of defensive changes for Central. Over at first base is Lily Tillier. Over at third base is Kayla Blumenshine. She moved over to that spot from the circle. And then behind the plate is Addie Freeman.
So often pitchers work with certain battery packs. Having a catcher who's comfortable with them, they work with them every single day in the bullpen. It's easier once you swap one out to swap both of them out.
Versatility always plays. Outfield stays the same. Chops it on the ground to second, and they can't make the play with the defense because of the speed of Sue. Sue slides in safely, creates that pressure, right? That's what West does. That's what their game is.
This one goes up the middle. And you see a little bit of a flip here, the backhand toss, but really close in space. That's one of those where if you can get momentum and sometimes just take the base yourself, it's the safest out.
Maliola Zudemeister back to the top. Takes strike one from Turmel.
A good job by Hawaii, already creating a little bit of havoc. Finding a way to be on time to a new pitcher that's just entered this game.
At the knees for a ball. It's 1-1. Again, Addie Freeman came in behind the plate. I like how quickly she's getting the ball back to her pitcher. There's nothing lazy about it, right? She means business back there. Don't think that she's going to miss what you're doing. It's tapped foul.
Exactly what you were just saying. If anything, it's sending a message to the runners. It's letting them know that she is being crisp with her throws, that she has a strong arm, and that she's coming into this game ready to make a statement. Almost daring these runners to try to run on her.
Again, Zudemeister made it a 2-0 game in the second as we lost the bag. So powerful. The bag came up. Ty Kivella Listen, you got to be a jack of all trades. A pitch is up. They check down over at first. It's a no-go, says Christine Larson. She's safe on the swing.
You mentioned that you love superstitions, good luck charms. Well, Zudemeister has one of my favorite ones. She wears the same softball pants that she hit a home run in this season.
They're washed. She hits it on the ground to a charging shortstop with the fire over and the out. Wow, Hannah Johnson with that throw. That is a bang, bang play. Both runners, though, advance on the out.
And that's a really tight play. It's going to come down to just a matter of a few inches.
Let's see. I see ball and then I see foot. That looks like the right call to me. So look, here's the ball. It's in the glove, and then there's the foot.
Gosh, we say it's a game of inches, but in a situation like this, centimeters.
Centimeters. That's the perfect shot, our crew. That perfect shot you just had there.
Great job by the umpire and crew.
So hard. So hard.
I mean, we're seeing this in a slow-mo version. They're seeing this in game speed.
It looks like Chad Pyler is going to challenge this. So, again, remember, the challenge earlier, we had some trouble with our communication with Pittsburgh. And so they're going to check this one out. So if she's safe, that would load them up with no outs in the top of the fourth, which is meaningful. Paisley Aoki is the batter waiting. She's struck out and flown out in the game already. By the way, the staff for West, Danny Kimura, he's the first base coach, his first year volunteering. Donovan Oda, who's been volunteering for 20 plus years. Melody Kimura, her first year. And then Sonia Alice Lamada as well. So they brought their staff here. The staff for Central, along with Zach Orr, is Daniel Proffer and Olivia Bainbridge.
And if they all could agree on one thing, it was they like to keep it light and fun. They said the best softball comes when you have a dugout that's laughing and smiling, especially at this age level. And having a younger team, if they're enjoying themselves, that's when they're going to get their best product on the field.
I have a feeling they do that a lot with Chad Pyler. I feel like he is cracking jokes and cracking smiles. I can see it right now on the field, right? As Paisley Aoki is waiting. He's smiling with her on the field right now.
And that type of chemistry, of creating girls who are loving the game, has also led to so many of them having more opportunities again. We said this Hawaii team, they love to come over and play in the States because of the exposure that allows for so many of these girls to get looked at by colleges in the States. In the last 3 years, Coach Byler has had 27 players earn scholarships and 18 of them be full rides.
It's really special. I was here 2 years ago, and I got to meet a lot of the young ladies that he brought over that are playing college softball right now. And I don't think you can understate how important it is to come to the mainland and get to play. It's very expensive to do that. And Chad said that everything is about club travel ball and big tournaments and spending money and getting seen by coaches. And his selling point is that if you can get to the World Series, you're on ESPN. So it's a pretty great selling point. He's exceptional, but it's really important. So here's a call on the field. So it's going to be a non-reviewable play, actually. Doesn't lose the challenge, but it's a non-reviewable play. And so the runner is going to be out at first. The call will stay. It's a non-reviewable play. Chad Pyler's striking out with these challenges right now. That's right. He is he is so wonderful.
Hawaii now 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position, having created momentum since early on in the game, looking to be able to pour some more runs on here.
All right, so Zudemeister grounds out. Paisley Aoki is the batter. And she takes a strike. She just drew in Blumenshine over at third base. And look how far in the first baseman is. Lily Tillier, who just came in. I mean, talk about having confidence, not being scared of what's going to happen. You can see how close. She might step back now with 2 strikes. She stays back a little bit, but look how far in the infield is playing for Central.
They want to get this out at home. And also early on, she was trying to protect a squeeze situation if we would have seen a bunting opportunity. They call third base the hot corner, but let me tell you, as a former first baseman as well, it is just as close.
Yeah, the pressure points, I think, are equal in these situations. And that's a hit through the infield and going to bring in 1 run. That's an RBI for Aoki, who makes it 3-0. She just punches it through.
So many of these Hawaii hitters on a 2-strike count, you see them shorten up, choke up on the bat, but then really condense their swing. They produce line drive after line drive up the middle.
And there's going to be an interference call over at third base right now with the shortstop. So you could see Wong Barboza, who was rounding. The runner hit the shortstop. So she was rounding to go to third. She's going to be out. So that's a call by the third base umpire there, George Spragan. So that's the second out. The umpires are going to get together. The run did score, though. Sioux scored. That makes it 3-0. We're going to watch all this again.
Those are one of the tough plays. 2 outs. You're coming off the base hard. Both players are just hunting, one for the next base and the other one hunting for the ball.
So they're actually going to bring... Hold on, we're going to get this straight. We're going to get this straight for you.
This game is too important not to. And it looks like coaching staff's trying to figure it out as well, too. Is figuring out which player to direct to get their helmet on.
So they're bringing Sioux back because of the interference, saying that the run does not score. No run because of interference. So it goes back to being a 2-0 game.
If you're Hawaii, it's plain and simple. You feel like your backs are against the wall. But this is when you have to come together and understand that. It doesn't matter what the calls are being called against you. How can you continue to find a way to step up, deliver your best softball, have each other's backs? I think it's you against the world in these situations.
So Sioux on third, Aoki on first. Aaliyah Anzai is the batter. She singled and scored in the first, and she walked in the third. So she's been all over the bases today. There's the throw down. How about the bullet from Addie Freeman? She gets Paisley Aoki at second base to end the threat, and she is pumped up.
Taking another look at a throw that could have saved a huge inning for Hawaii, but this is going to bring momentum now on Michigan's side, who need to get the bats going.
All right, we welcome you back in. It's 2-0 West over Central, and we've had a lot going on in this game, but what you need to know, number one, is Hawaii scored their runs in the first 2 innings. Central has been threatening. They have struggled mightily with runners in scoring position. Chad Pyler trying to use his challenges to help his team. We saw an interference call in the top of the 4th. Sydney. It was with the shortstop. The runner from second to third interfered with the shortstop. They were called out, and the run scored was taken off the board. And Chad Pyler asked to review it. And because of that, the run comes off the board. Help me understand. What do you got for that?
Well, the call on the field stands. As you can see, we are now going to head to the top of the 5th inning. And Coach Byler, he's just trying to make sense of it himself. As we take another look at this play, it's going to be a throw down to second base. The question is, did his runner get her foot in time? And the tag is made high, and it looks like just before with that left foot, the out is made. Glove touching the top of her left shin before it ever makes contact with the base. This is an inning where Hawaii felt like they couldn't win a single review, couldn't win a single opportunity, but now is when you really have to come together as a team. And the way that Zudemeister hustled out to the mound saying, come on guys, we got this, trying to keep the positivity on this side and remind them that they are still winning this game. They're walking into this inning with a lead. But the one thing we do know is that Coach Pyler is out of challenges.
Hey, Little League and ESPN are proud members of the Aspen Institute's Project Play 63 by 30, which is focused on getting 63% of kids playing sports by 2030. You can learn more about what Little League is doing to get kids on the field and all about the ESPN Take Back Sports initiative by visiting littleleague.org/projectplay. So if you're scoring at home, I hope you used pencil, not pen.
Not like us, where we have scribbles everywhere you look.
There's some scribbles, yes. And we do believe that Hawaii is now out of challenges. And it's pretty early in the game. So, again, you get an unlimited amount of successful challenges. Once you are unsuccessful twice, you do not get any more through 6 innings. So, bottom of the 4th. Central trying to get something going. This is Reese Dunning laying down a bunt, speedy down the line, and she's safe, and you can hear her dugout loves it.
Probably the best play and coaching decision by Coach Orr. You just been through so many reviews. You have a Hawaii team who's on their heels, and then boom, first pitch, you drop down a bunt that just dies in the dirt. Sometimes you have to create momentum on good plays, and sometimes it's winning reviews. And right now, that's the Michigan momentum that they have allowed to build.
So Lily Tillier is going to step in the box to bat. She came in to play first base on defense. She hits it hard on the ground to short. They go to second for the first, and not in time to turn the double play, but they do get Dunny, the lead runner, at second for the first out.
And that is just terrific glove work by Nzai. That's a short hopper that she's able to go and bury. Watch the way she will go for the short hop, immediately turn to second base, and had an opportunity for a double play if it was not for the speed.
I think the thing I'm most impressed with is how quick she transfers ball, glove, hand, throw.
And it's the attacking of the short hop. If you stay on your heels, you let that mid hop, that long hop, you don't get that out at second base at all. But that just takes a really confident infielder who's willing to be aggressive and have a really strong thumb turning over your glove.
Hey, fundamentals always play, right? No matter what's happening in any situation. And earlier, you know, this team was telling Zudemeister, trust us, rely on us, right? Her pitch count is rising right now, but she's relying on her defense. That was an excellent play. So there's one away in the bottom of the 4th. There's going to be a pinch runner out over at first for Lily Tillier. This is Avery Heil back out again, which you are allowed to do. It's a special pinch runner, someone who's not in the batting order can come in for any offensive player. twice a game, so this is it for her. Not more than one time an inning. So Heil on first. Hannah Johnson, the batter. Foul tip. Excuse me, that's Kate Mitchell. So Kate Mitchell's going to come in and get an at-bat.
Kate Mitchell is the one on first base.
Oh, on first. Oh, that's fine. You could have told me. You could have told me. No worries. Okay, so Kate Mitchell actually comes in to pinch run. Okay, so that means Heil can still be used.
We're both still catching up with our notes from these last few innings. We're writing down, scoring it alongside you guys at home.
Mitchell from Grand Blanc, Michigan, by the way, 16 years old at Grand Blanc High School. All right, so here's Hannah Johnson at the plate. That ball just slipped out of the hand of Sue, but Mitchell stayed over at first.
The way that Sue popped up from her catcher stance, it almost felt like she was going to fire it over to first base, looking for the back pick. That's what caught her by surprise, throwing it in the dirt.
Off speed, in for a strike to even the count, 2-2.
That off speed is something that I just would love to see more of. We've seen it a few times by Zudemeister, not showing it much, but when she does, no one has found a way to try to hit it. The ball has about 8 to 10 inch of break.
Hannah Johnson walked in the second. Again, the Central team has struggled to capitalize with runners in scoring position, runners on base tonight. When you get free passes, you got to capitalize, right? They weren't able to do that in the second. They had a runner in scoring position in the third. So let's see if they can change that narrative. She hits it on the ground, arranging third baseman over to second, not in time to first, but again, getting the lead runner, Casey Kimura at third. Nice ranging play to throw it to second for the second out.
And she is so good at being able to cut across the diamond, allowing her glove to lead her to her next out. Understanding her momentum is coming to second base. Why not get the lead runner?
All right, back to the top. Sophia Chappitt comes up, 1 on 2 down. She pops it up, but it's out of play.
Chappitt, somebody who had got on base more than 11 times in this regional to get here at this moment.
Another one popped out of play. It's 0-2.
Where Zudemeister is doing such a nice job is she is attacking these hitters in such different ways. You see some batters, she does a great job pounding the outside right away. Others, especially against these lefties, really being able to work on the inside corner. And where that's important is these hitters are coming back to the dugout, relaying the sequences that they had. They're trying to teach each other, learn from each other's at-bats, but it's so hard to do so against a pitcher who constantly is evolving.
There's the 0-2. It's popped up on the infield. Anzai makes the catch, and once again, Central unable to capitalize with runners on. We go to the fifth. It was an 11-pitch inning. Welcome back into Lower Sussex Little League Complex at the Senior League Softball World Series. Hawaii up 2-0 over Michigan. Hawaii representing the West, Michigan representing Central. Remember, they knocked off the two-time defending champs out of Central. That was Illinois. Zach Orr's team doing so against his dad, Tom Orr. But they trail now. Hawaii has produced 2 runs. Michigan struggled with runners on, runners in scoring position. Time slowly running out here. They're 0 for 6 in that category, and there's a strike fired in. Alianzai is leading off, Sid.
Michigan has also found a way to put back-to-back clean innings for the first time against this Hawaii team, shutting them down in the 3rd and the 4th inning.
Anzai hits a dribbler, but it hits off of her.
And even though last inning we had tons of reviews, it felt like Turmel was on the mound forever. She only had a 16-pitch inning, is now coming in already this inning, working ahead of the count, just pounding the strike zone.
Anzai's been on base twice today. She singled and scored in the first and walked in the third. She's seeing the ball well, working the count. She's a 3-hole hitter for this team. Small but mighty.
I just love her play. There's something about her that makes her so smooth, whether it's when she's at shortstop, fielding a ground ball like we just saw, but it's also the way that she's keeping her body so loose in the batter's box. You see it within her legs, constantly moving back and forth.
That's outside, so she works the leadoff walk. She's a fan of Jose Altuve, the Houston Astros. No surprise, small but mighty. Just the first walk issued by Turmel. So a runner aboard. Kayla Sato comes up. She's also been on base twice today.
Every single inning, Hawaii has found a way to get a runner on base.
She hits it hard on the ground to second. They turn over and not in time to first, but again, get the lead runner, Anzai. It's a nice job there. Allie Turkowski over at second base to Hannah Johnson.
And man, I've been so impressed with the middle infield on both of these teams. So smooth getting the lead runner out.
Trust your defense, right? Pays off here. Casey Kimura will bat. Fouls off that pitch.
It's even more important for a pitcher like Turmel, who's going to really work the bottom half of the zone. Most of her pitches spinning down in the zone, trying to create these ground balls.
Kimura got on in the third and stole a bag. Big birthday today for her. She leaves that up. It's 1-1.
Somebody who seems quiet on the outside, but everyone on her team agrees. She comes to play with an intensity like nothing they've ever seen before.
Great pitch from Turmel to get ahead. She's trying to get those ground ball outs.
Pounding, blowing in. One of the hardest pitches to be able to deliver your barrel and put the ball up in the air. So easy of a rollover.
That one fouled off. One on, one down, top five. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. The second out of the frame, the first strikeout for Turmel.
Burying the inside corner. Such a hard pitch to deliver your barrel to if you're a hitter. And this one gets her turning all the way, pulling a long backswing.
The 6th team strikeout for Central, and that's going to bring up Kaya Akimoto. She tags that into center. Ranging is Sophia Chappett. What a great play by the defense again. Coming up, putting up a 0. Once again, they will come back in the bottom of the 5th, try to produce some runs. Ayanna Jackson will lead things off for Central. They're trailing now 2-0 over West. Hawaii representing that region, Michigan representing Central. And Ajax, known as Happy Bubbly, she throws on a tune to that boom box, gets everyone dancing. on the team. She enjoys fishing and playing basketball and volleyball, and she wants to be a lawyer when she grows up. She drops a beautiful bunt down the line, and with her speed is aboard so easily.
That was textbook beauty. Watch how this ball just dies off of her bat. That's having soft hands, being able to take in the power of a pitch and allow it to die. They call her Ajax based off the Greek mythology of meaning Jax for bravery and courage. And a play like that, that's a lot of courage stepping up on the first pitch and being able to lay down a bunt.
Here's Kayla Blumenshine. She takes a ball low. It's also a bunt from a player who hit a grand slam for the run rule during this tournament, right? During their regional game. Like, she's bunting, she's got power, she does it all.
It's also a player who doesn't have too much of a pride and says whatever I can do to create a little momentum for this team. And I love a player who's willing to not be too big to bunt.
Some selfless softball right there. Blumenshine smacks it just foul down the right field line.
We have seen some big swings by Luke Blumenshine all day today. She does such a great job generating power from that back leg.
Speaking of power, by the way, down the right field line, I mean, I'd get out of the way too. You see that woman in the far corner. I'd be afraid too. Listen, Kayla Blumenshine, she's got muscles, she's got power, she's not afraid to use them. That's outside, gets away from Sue, and Ajax on second in scoring position. It didn't even go far. She had a great jump to go 60 feet.
And one of my favorite things about Sue is her framing, but sometimes that's been her Achilles heel today. If she's been trying to move a pitch that's outside the zone too much over and allowing her to take her eye off the runner.
It's a 3-1 count. Blumenshine swinging away and fouls it out of play.
What's really interesting about Blumenshine, we talk about keeping her power on her backside. She has now been late on a foul ball, and a fastball, and a changeup. So that goes to show that nothing is allowing that power to drift towards that front side. It's just, can you make contact now with your barrel a little bit more out in front of the plate?
Smacks it down the third base line. It's fair. Central's going to get one run there and cut the lead in half. It's a Blumenshine special. An RBI makes it 2-1.
This type of hit only happens for a hitting pitcher. You understand that you were just set up with an off-speed pitch that you fouled off late. So what are they going to do? They're going to throw you hard and inside, but she recognizes that. She's on time to this inside pitch. Not only is she on time, she hits it so hard the defense has no shot.
All right, so an RBI double for Blumenshine. And here's Lila Turmel. Back-to-back doubles for Kayla. Turmel flew out her last at bat to center, and she drives that deep into left, over the left fielder. Blumenshine had to hold up. She runs through the stop sign, and she ties this ball game. An RBI from Turmel.
If you are going to run through a stop sign, there's only one rule. You have to be safe. Once you score one, it's amazing how it can open up the floodgates, gets every inch of this ball deep over the heads against the wall, and watch how she never even looks up. Determined to score.
And just like that, a brand new ball game here. Central has been waiting all game to crack through. And they do it with Blumenshine and Turmel. And how about that? The two women in the circle for this team also coming through with the bats. Rezudemeister now 6 hits, allowed 3 this inning.
They created that momentum from what they were doing as you said, on the mound. Turmel, she had only 30 pitches in her 2 innings of work. And Bloom, 66 pitches in her 3 innings. All to create the momentum, and wait until their basket get hot.
Third time through the order for Zudemeister, and they've gotten to her. Allie Turkowski will bat. That one skips inside, and Sue blocks it. Kate Mitchell is batting. Excuse me, she came in to pinch run earlier. And so now she'll get an at-bat.
Somebody, they say, rarely strikes out, misses the ball, does a great job of just having that hand-eye coordination.
She squares, but unsuccessful, so it's 1-1.
The team DJ, the biggest hype woman for everybody else.
This is her first at bat of the night. And she takes that ball outside. It's 2-1. She reminded us how long this team's been playing together. She said the last 7 years, many of the girls on this team have been together. So there's great relationships. We know how to have a good time together. She's got her game face on. Taps a foul. It's 2-2.
I've just been so impressed with both of these teams. Who's ever entered the game, as you said, just that laser focus. They were locked in on the bench that's prepared them to shine when their number is called.
There's the 2-2 on its way. She chops it hard off the glove of the shortstop, and Central's going to take the lead. How about that first at bat? And they held the runner up at third. They held her up. And so runners are going to be on the corners.
And you can almost see a little bit of frustration there, wanting to score so badly for her team. And a very rare error by this Hawaii defense that has been stellar so far. Was in the right positioning, but just tipped off the end of the glove. And for Michigan to continue this momentum still with 0 outs on the board.
There's still no outs in the bottom of the 5th. Addie Freeman, who came in to take over behind the plate for Ella Stevenson, will come up to bat. So now it's the bench's turn to get something done. It's a tie ball game.
Every player counts. And it's these moments are why you love having a deep roster, a deep lineup, somebody you can call from your bench at any point. I think the ultimate compliment that they gave Freeman is they said it's somebody you want in your clubhouse. She is just bringing so much positive energy. Those are the players that you cheer harder for in these situations.
Four batters up for Central. All have reached base so far in the inning. Owen Sales inside for a ball. They're going to concede second, so Turkowski over at second and scoring.
I really liked the fake throw attempt by Sue. You knew she wasn't going to throw it down to second base and allow the runner to come from third to home. But even that fake throw just keeps a very honest Turmel who's at third base. A little bit of confusion with the signs. It's a really smart timeout by Freeman. You never want to allow you're a hitter, the pitcher, and if you're a pitcher, the hitter, to determine the pace.
Blocked by Sue. Keeps the runners where they're at. The go-ahead run is on third.
She's a wall back there. Not only is that a pass ball, but that's a run from scoring to change this ball game.
She waits on it, hits it through the infield. One run comes home. The play at the plate, and she is out. So Freeman, who was in a rundown for a moment, slides in safely at third, but drives into, one to give Michigan the lead. It's 3-2. That was an excellent play to get the runner at home. But how about this at bat?
So much good here. Waits on the off speed, but a great heads-up play by Hawaii, getting the trail runner, and then another opportunity. As you can see, a tag was made. A great job by Sue. She's going to pop up, run down this runner's in a pickle, overthrows it, but this is why you have the backup. And then you can see everybody trying to figure out where third base was. I love how she actually kept her foot on the base, even though it was moved.
Genius move.
You just go where the base goes. But how about this here? The first lead of the game for Michigan. You just feel a different atmosphere. And the fact that it was the players from the bench who got it done.
Still just one out in the bottom of the fifth inning. It's a bunt attempt that's foul from Reese Dunny. Infield's in for West. There's a runner on third. That pitch misses. It's 1-1.
This Michigan team has found a way to be on time to Zudemeister a little bit better by getting tight on the plates, going back in the batter's box.
She waits on it, fouls it off. Dunny walked in the second, singled in the fourth.
Has movement in her hands to keep her loose.
Lays off that pitch to make it 2-2. Central would love some insurance. Sue calls for it outside, but it's too far.
And now you have another first and third situation, especially when you saw the infield was in tight, and they're going to call this back. It was ball 3. She fooled everybody. I mean, why not try to play it off?
We're all set now. It was 3 balls. So let's see how Zudemeister responds now. They check down and they say she did go. So Reese Dunny, thinking she had a walk, is out, and there's 2 away.
And this is a great rise ball that's hard to lay off of, and a barrel does cross the front of the plate. Great job by Sue recognizing that as the catcher right away, asking for a challenge.
5 strikeouts now for Zudemeister, 2 away.
And if Zudemeister can get out of this inning with only being down by 1, I still feel like that's a win if you're Hawaii. I know you gave up the lead, but she has been able to minimize the damage all day long.
Lily Tillier is the batter. And she takes strike 2. Oh for 1 today. She hits it hard, just foul down the third base line.
We saw Freeman doing a few dance moves out of third base, trying to just stay out of the way. It's one of those you tell your pitcher is just a hard strike, a long strike.
Just outside, it's 1-2.
And Sue trying to be always such a visual catcher for her pitcher. You've seen it really be increased within our sport of softball. You've seen catchers who have put blue tape, red tape, or anything, or even set up, overemphasizing a side of the plate. Allow their pitcher to have a visual to be able to go and attack.
Big pitch here. It's high. Tillier lays off. The count's 2-2. That was pitch number 95 from Zudemeister. Foul tip. She stays alive. Just got a piece of it.
And unlike Michigan, we have seen no activity in Hawaii's bullpen.
This is Zudemeister's game, yeah?
It is. Especially with somebody who they describe gives 100% intensity. She is not going to let you take the ball out of her hands.
This will be the 30th pitch of the inning coming up for Zudemeister. It's hit hard to third. Fired over for the out. What a fantastic job by Casey Kimura, but Michigan on the board. In fact, not just on the board, but they have the lead, 3-2. It was the bench that got the job done.
Always be ready when your jersey is called. That's exactly what Michigan does. Big time players step up in big moments.
All right, so we talked about the bench being impactful for Central. Kate Mitchell, who came in, she's now playing right field off the bench. So in the 5th, by the way, Central comes back and scores 3 runs. It was Addie Freeman who made it a 3-2 ball game.
That's something that Coach Orr's entire staff stressed to us. We met with them yesterday. He says, I have a rotating lineup, a rotating infield to outfield, and you really see that come into play for them. And how differently, if you're Hawaii, you go from leading the entire game to now you start to try not to do the math, but you say, okay, we're down to 6 outs. We have to find a way to make something happen.
The 0-2 pitch is high, and over at second base is Ayanna Jackson taking over there. Chaselyn Mokiao taps it, stays fair down the first base line, and nice job over at first by Tillier to make the play.
That's really hard as a first baseman when you have a runner who's running full speed at you and you're just trying to protect something in your glove. You see her laugh it off, but that's a big time play.
Especially with the speed that West has, and you just want to secure the rock.
Even a little flex for us there. She's showing off how strong she is.
Mana Sue comes up. She was hit by a pitch her last at bat.
And Sue's one of those players who you see as she gets ready in her batting stance, she's going to keep a really flat barrel. All of this is trying to have her have a shorter path to the ball. You can tell a little bit of a big launch angle, big swing, trying to shorten up, is keeping that barrel flat on her shoulder before she starts.
Lila Jermel's come in and calmed things down in the circle, and defensively for Central getting ahead of batters and firing in some big-time velocity as well. That pitch just missing low at the knees.
And what stood out to the coaches and why they wanted Jermel on the team is they said it was the way that she stands out because of her composure, especially on the mound. She stays poised at all times.
2-2, swing and a miss. She must have gotten a piece of it, fouled it away to protect. Count stays 2-2.
To think about every single one of these players who are handpicked for both of these teams. I still love Michigan's stories the best. That Coach Orr just started showing up at the high school fields, in the middle school fields. Everyone was wondering, who is this guy hanging around at the backstops?
In on the hands, over the third, the strong defense from Central in time. Blumenshine making the play, and I think that's pretty special, right? He recognized in the community, hey, we don't have enough, we're not doing enough. I saw what my dad did, I want to do the same thing.
Well, in Michigan, there was such a high emphasis on travel ball, but nobody was talking about Little League until they came in. And they kept saying, we have what opportunity? And now here's an opportunity, what would be Michigan's first time not allowing a base runner by Hawaii in an inning.
They'd love a 1-2-3. Anuhea Wong Barboza would like the opposite of that. With 2 outs in the top of the 6th. The pitch is painted for strike 2.
Wong Barboza, somebody who not only plays competitive softball, but also dances competitively with the hula.
You ever hula?
Oh, I have to believe the hip rotation is great for hitting.
Blumenshine again with the play. It's a 1-2-3 scoreless frame. Central protecting their 3-2 lead. All right, welcome back. Earlier today, the host team Delaware won 14-2 over Connecticut, representing the East. The pitching staff struck out 10, but Sierra Lewis, as you saw there, did a little bit of everything. Doubled and scored, drove in a run to make it 6-0. It was an unbelievable performance to help her team advance. Become 1-0 in pool play. As you can see, our 2 pools, 5, they all play each other, and the 8 teams with the best record advance to single elimination. So important to start out 1-0.
Lorena Bales, she will step into the batter's box for her first time for Michigan. And why not? It's worked for them all game so far. Taking people off their bench have had an immediate impact. Meister continues to be on the mound for Hawaii, somebody who's worked through a lot of hurdles for this team.
This is pitch 100, and that's a drive deep into left field, and that one is gone. Baylor out. She makes it 4-2.
How deep can any hitting bench possibly get a pinch hit home run? It feels like a broken record. Every single one of these players who's delivered an RBI, but this one might be the biggest swing we've seen on all of the fields today. First swing off the bench, and it goes a mile.
Over the fans, over the chairs. Bale committed to Saginaw Valley State University. I'm guessing they like what they see from her.
How could you not? That type of confidence in your very first swing to be that on time.
That's our first home run here on Bruce Layton. Anyway, opening day. Pretty big deal, I'd say, for Central. A little insurance there.
Zudemeister has only given up 8 hits. However, 4 of those have been extra base hits.
Sophia Chaput hits it on the ground to second. And there's an out for West, 1 away.
And Coach Orr tried to tell us how deep his hitters were. He said, you know, I can start any 9 players at any point, but he wasn't kidding. And I just can't get over the fact of every single one of these girls. That goes to show, even if you're not in the starting lineup, if you're watching this at home and you're a younger softball player, even if you aren't starting, you can impact this game.
Ayanna Jackson steps in and takes a ball low. Again, this Michigan team lost 11-1 to Illinois back in 2024, and they had a chip on their shoulder. They said, we want to beat them this time. They didn't just beat them once, they beat them twice in regionals. The defending champs knocked off. So we'll see a new winner this year in 2025. Maybe it's Central, who knows? We've got a great week ahead here on ESPN+.
What a big insurance run that was for Michigan, looking to continue to capitalize on it. Jackson, we saw her lay down a beautiful bunt in her last at bat.
She leaves that pitch up. It's 2-1.
Jackson, somebody the team says has the Mamba mentality. I don't think there's a greater compliment than that in sports.
No, I think it tells you a lot about her character and who she is, and probably the work that she's put in to be the athlete and the person that she is. She rips that through the left side for a 1-out base hit to continue the tear for Central. I mean, they were sleeping giants through the first 4 innings of this ball game, and here they are.
Taking a pitch that's well outside, sending it opposite field. That's not trying to do too much, but hitting it on the same plane that it was delivered.
Letting it travel, going with it. So hard to do, right? We talk about this a lot with this age group and being able to go opposite field, but being confident and trusting your hands to let that ball travel. She's got 3 singles today. It brings up Kayla Blumenshine.
And 3 singles in so many different ways. Small ball, the line drive power. You just don't know how to defend a type of athlete like that.
At this age, how do you practice going oppo? How do you practice letting the ball travel deeper?
So often, as silly as it sounds, it comes from just the T word.
Yeah.
I feel like teaching yourself this is where you want to hit it in terms of where your body is on the plate, letting it get deep in the zone.
She's got the speed and takes off for second safely. It's her second stolen base. She had one in the 5th and scored. Skips in, Sue blocks it. So she stays put. She just pats her chest there saying, yeah, that was on me, I probably could have had it. I like the competitiveness.
Especially with still keeping in front of her. You can see the face. She's working behind. She's working for her pitcher as hard as she can.
Blumenshine hits a 1-hopper to second. She's out at first. And Jackson advances over to third base. There's 2 away in the 6th.
And it almost feels like these Michigan hitters are no longer being fooled by the off-speed pitch. Granted, that's an out, but you don't see them leak any power. They're staying on their back legs, still delivering the barrels hard. But when you throw it at a good height, you still don't get much of it. Even if the hitter recognizes it, because it broke so well, it turns into a ground ball out.
So 1 on, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. Lila Turmel fouls a pitch away. She made it a 2-2 ball game in the 5th inning. That one at her knees.
To show how deep this pitching staff, we've seen what she's done since she's come in. She also threw a no-hitter at regionals to help them get to the championship game.
Another pitch fouled away. It's a 4-2 ball game. Michigan took the lead in the 5th. Addie Freeman made it 3-2, and Bale hit a solo home run to start things off in the 6th.
You can see Sue being extra expressive, telling her pitcher exactly where she wants this, way outside. That's too much over the plate still.
It's a great play, though, over at short. Onside, the steady hand, but it's a little late. Bale with the solo home run makes it 4-2.
Only took one swing to add a huge insurance run for Michigan. 3 outs away from being 1-0 in the tournament.
All right, Lorena Bale with a solo home run off the bench made it a 4-2 Central ball game. They have come all the way back in this one after being silenced through the first 4 and are now 3 outs away from securing a Game 1 victory. It's 1-2-3 for Hawaii. They're 3 for 7 with 2 walks.
And if Zudemeister hasn't done enough already today, she's thrown 114 pitches, and now with an opportunity to impact her team offensively. Already has done that today with a hit and a huge RBI at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, she made it 2-0 early, right? And then she was so commanding. Her off speeds were so deceiving. Central wasn't able to capitalize. They were down and out with runners on, runners in scoring position, and it's a completely different story now. A pitch is up. It's 3-0.
She held them off as long as she could. Central was 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position today. Didn't figure it out until the end. Doesn't matter how you start, though. It's all about how you finish.
And that one skips past her, so it's a leadoff walk, a 4-pitch walk issued to Zudemeister.
That's what it takes when you're trying to make a rally and a comeback. Just find a way on base, pass the bat, and keep the momentum going.
It's going to bring up Paisley Aoki. She represents the tying run for Hawaii. She hits a line drive right back up the middle, and here comes Hawaii. The first 2 batters aboard in the top of the 7th.
And after Turmo couldn't find the strike zone, she's going to lay this one a little bit over the inside. Still a really nice piece of hitting. Not trying to do too much, but just send this one back up the middle.
Hawaii 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Aaliyah Anzai pops it up on the infield. It's an infield fly. Tillier makes the catch. And there's one away. And
Chad Pyler, who leads this Hawaii team, he said it coming into this. He's a really youthful team, and with that, they never quit. They never feel like they're out of it. This is one of those moments where they have an opportunity. They've already set themselves up to be right in this game.
Kayla Sato is the batter, and she takes a strike. Sato had an RBI triple in the first. She made it a 1-0 ball game. She was also on base in the third.
You're at the heart of the order, exactly where you have the max power.
Smacks it foul. Casey Kimura is waiting on deck. The birthday girl.
I mean, storylines don't make themselves.
We just deliver the facts here. How lucky are we at the Senior League Softball World Series?
What I love is these girls are all on the field because they want the ball or the bat in their possession at these moments. They look at pressure like a privilege. That's why they're some of the best athletes in the world, period, here battling out tooth and nail to the end of the game. This is when a 0-2 pitch, you don't want to give anything too good.
Ball in the dirt, runners advance. 60 feet closer, both in scoring position.
Coach Pyler saying that was a sweaty high five. I take it back.
It's a 1-2 count to Sato. One out in the top of the seventh. 4-2 Michigan lead. Sato smacks it right to third. Double play. Ball game. Central. How about that?
The
comebacks, the offense, the defense, a little bit of everything. They were struggling early, Sydney. Could not get a run in, and they come all the way back to win this one.
I think this is the perfect play to end it on, the double play, the hot corner. This is a Michigan team that kept everybody on their toes until the very end. It took believing in themselves, staying with it, and then being able to put a bow on it and to dance it off with your best friends.
That's how we do it here. So for Central, represented by Michigan, they're 1-0 now in pool play. And the West, represented by Hawaii, falls to 0-1. This is just day one here at the Senior League Softball World Series from Bruce Layton Field. Lions Field, they're over on ESPN Plus as well if you want to check them out. But we're here all week just getting started. A comeback victory for Central. And Lorena Bale with that solo home run to seal the deal. You had Addie Freeman also coming up huge with that go-ahead RBI in the fifth inning to make it 3-2. The bench came up big, but they came alive in the fifth, and Zach Orr gets his first win here at the Senior League Softball World Series. Bale said the 6'5" bearded bald guy was trying to put a team together and asked if I wanted to be a part of it. And my high school assistant coach, April, encouraged me to give him a shot. I heard about the talent he was bringing in and knew I had to be a part of this. It was an opportunity for me. That's Zach Orr, by the way, who she's talking about, the beard balded guy. Her words, not ours.
That type of storyline, she took a chance on him. Zach Orr carrying on his father, Tom Orr's legacy. He's been here, he's won it before, but now his son having an opportunity to write his own story.
All right, so here's our updated standings. Again, we have two pools here. As you can see on the left side, Delaware won earlier. They're 1-0. They beat the East team. On the right side in Pool B, you see Central here, who just won. They're 1-0. And the West, they fall to 0-1. Other scores today, you can see Southeast won, and also there's a game in progress. That's why in Pool A. So we will see those updated standings online if you would like at the Senior League Softball World Series. We got you covered in that respect. We'll be back tomorrow with 6 games on ESPN Plus. Congratulations to Delaware and to Michigan for Game 1 wins. We'll be back tomorrow for Sydney Subley and our entire crew. I'm Danny Wexelman. We'll see you back here in Delaware.